Dennis Bamber with Cressy and Everett Real Estate, bringing you the most dynamic and comprehensive marketing approach to buying and selling real estate in Southwest fantastic Michigan. Dennis Bamber dot Cressy, Cressy, Everett, EVERETT.com. Dennis, pleasure to speak with you on this Friday. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
And how has your week been there in magnificent Southwest Michigan?
Actually, it's been fairly busy. It's cooled down a bit, but market is still strong. People are still interested in selling and buying, so I can't complain too much.
There you go, exactly. And we love Michigan. One of our, along with yourself, another fantastic client that we have up in Michigan. Are you familiar with Boyne Golf Resorts courses?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, beautiful golf country up there in Michigan and Lake Michigan. What a fantastic place to for one to call home, whether it's a first or second home, and further to be an expert and leading luxury realtor in the market. And for those that will be listening, when we say Southwest Michigan, Dennis, why don't you describe what we're discussing?
Well, the first thing is that we're fairly close to the Indiana border, and we're very close. Well, Lake Michigan borders the western edge of southwestern Michigan. We're about 2 hours from Chicago, and one of the key factors that we have here are numerous lakes. There's probably well over 100 lakes in the 3 or 4 counties, probably more than that.
Wow.
So there's a lot of inland lakes, really nice lakes, and a lot of the properties are second homes with a fairly large concentration of people from Chicago that buy these homes.
Mm-hmm.
We're not too far from the University of Notre Dame, which is also another factor. So in our marketing, we always mention, 30 minutes from the University of Notre Dame and 2 hours from Chicago.
Right.
A lot of the Chicago people are looking, for a lake home within 3-hour drive max. And in southwestern Michigan, like I said, somewhere between, 100 to 200 lakes to choose from.
That's amazing. I had no idea. Obviously I know the Great Lakes. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about Lake Michigan, et cetera. Especially I've heard in the summer, it's just magical, truly magical. But 100 to 200 lakes, that almost doesn't seem possible.
Yeah, as you get near Lake Michigan, there's not as many inland lakes, but you do have wine country there. There's a lot of wineries. It's big.
Oh.
And then you have the quaint towns, the resort towns on Lake Michigan, like New Buffalo and Lake Union. So it's a little different area over there. The homes on Lake Michigan are quite expensive. But with that said, on some of the larger lakes here in southwestern Michigan, we have, many homes well over $1 million, which I've sold several. And as you go further east from Lake Michigan, when you get about 30 miles from Lake Michigan, then we start running into a lot of inland lakes, lots of them.
Yeah, one to 200 of them.
Yeah, and some of them are 50 acres. A lot of them are 200 to 300 acres, and then we have several that are over 400 or 500 acres, up to 1,000 acres. So a buyer will look at, is the lake all sports? Meaning, can I put a jet ski on there and take my kids tubing?
Right.
That would be an all sports lake, and then some of the other lakes are smaller ones. Will be what's called an awake lake. You could have a pontoon, but you can't create a wake. You can have a fishing boat. Again, you can't create a wake.
Right.
But most of them are all sports.
That's incredible. That's really great. And how is the fishing in many or most of the lakes?
It's quite good, actually. I used to be a fisherman myself. I've got a huge walleye that I mounted, caught out of one lake. And the other thing, you'll see a lot of people ice fishing here in the winter.
Oh, right,
Uh,
right,
so they're out there. You know, you know it's safe to go on the ice when you see ice fishermen out there.
right, because they know what they're doing.
Right. So yeah, the fishing's good. It's a lot of bluegill, perch, some walleye, and bass. Bass is real big. A lot of bass fishermen, with their bass boats. There's some competitions around here, etc.
And do you have a number of people that buy in the area for the lakes and whether it's the sports activity, water skiing, tubing, as you said, jet skiing, et cetera, and then also at the same time, are there a number of people that purchase a second home, whether they're from Chicago or not, for the water sports or the fishing and just that lake life? Because in my opinion, growing up with lake life and catching bluegill and whatnot, as you mentioned, up in Northern California, once you're keen to it, you realize it really is an exceptional life to live, whether it's full-time or part-time or retired, et cetera.
Well, I think most of the smaller lakes are where people go where they want to be very quiet. They want the quietness of the lake, and they want to be fishing mostly. As the lake gets bigger, they tend to become more active with more jet skis and things. For example, a lake I live on, been there for 25 years, called Diamond Lake's the biggest lake, a lot of high-end homes, and it's not unusual for a homeowner to have a ski boat and then a pontoon boat and then 2 or 3 jet skis just at one house. And
Mm-hmm.
And it can get fairly busy on a weekend. During the week, all the lakes are very quiet, but some of the bigger lakes do have some activity on the weekend. And there's people that would rather have a quiet lake. They'll say, I like this lake because it's nice and quiet, not a lot of traffic, boat traffic. And there's others that they want a big lake where they can just ski and jet ski and do all of that stuff.
Absolutely. Good for you, living on a lake now for 20 years and successfully catching a mountable walleye. Really quick side question. Just curious, why did you hang up the fishing rod? You said that you used to be a fisherman.
Well, I guess before I got in real estate, I had a business. The business kept getting bigger and bigger, and time became more of a crunch. And then my fishing buddy kind of pooped out on me, so it kind of just went away.
I understand.
Gradually.
I understand. I haven't done it in quite some time, but like I said, I grew up with it and I love it. Some of the fondest memories of my life. With respect to, you mentioned a very high percentage of your buyers come from the Chicago area, understandably so. Do you also have, I would think at the same time, a number of people, especially right now with this still very strong in general for the most part, and then as you mentioned in your market, do you have a number of people from the greater United States, North America audience that are also looking for that unique, beautiful, exceptional, serene lifestyle that you offer there, while also having the proximity to a Chicago, a Notre Dame, for whatever reason, whether it's kids or sports or whatnot, but having, it's a unique, in my opinion, a very unique and exceptional life and lifestyle that you present with the listings that you have.
Well, I'm licensed in Indiana, and I'm from South Bend, where the University of Notre Dame is located. And my family owns a restaurant there since 1940.
Oh, wow.
And so the area around Notre Dame has changed dramatically. The prices have gone up considerably, and there's just a whole bunch of new condos, some real high-end ones being built around the campus. And those people are coming from all over the United States. In fact, on a Notre Dame home game, the South Bend Airport is loaded with private jets flying in. The bigger the game, the more jets coming in. I'm sure there'll be a lot this weekend because they're playing Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
So you get that. That's where you get most of your national business. Now, in Michigan with the lake property, again, it's seemingly a lot from northern Indiana. Some people will make it their primary home and live on a lake, as I did. And then it seems like about 30 to 40% of these lake homes are bought from people out of the Chicago area. We get a few from like Indianapolis, some out of Ohio, but a lot of it does come from Chicago.
Which is an excellent feeder market to have in your backyard, correct?
Right, and it's like I said, it's a short drive. It's not an easy way to market, but if there's an area, if you get a high-end lake home, it's a place where you want to start your marketing at, targeting into the Chicago area. Depending on the price of the home, is the suburb you may want to focus on. If it's a expensive home, you may go to Oak Brook, Hinsdale, areas like that. If it's a $500,000 lake home, you may go to Downers Grove, places like Downers Grove, Tinley Park, suburbs where the cost of living is a little less.
And what has somewhat of a loaded question, but for you personally and in general, what has 2022 been like as compared to obviously the very unique 2021 in Southwest Michigan in your market?
It's been a little harder because what happened in 20 when COVID was hitting, there were a fair amount of lake properties for sale. 20 was my best year ever. We ended up selling a $5 million house on the river in Niles, Michigan. That was a big one. But the people, particularly from Chicago, came and bought a lot of the lake properties. So the inventory on the lakes went way down.
Mm-hmm.
So in 21 was a very good year. This year's a little more difficult because the listings are a little harder to come by, but once you get one, you pretty much you're guaranteed you're going to probably sell that home for a good price for the seller and in a reasonably short time because the lack of inventory. Even though interest has gone up with a lot of these secondary homes, in fact, most of them that I'm selling are all cash buyers.
Fantastic. And speaking of listings, you have, well, at least in your current two-page spread ad in Elevated Luxury Real Estate magazine, and correct me if you have already sold these, but you have two absolutely spectacular estates for sale. The one in Elkhart, Indiana, and then you also have the Edwardsburg, Michigan, correct?
Yeah, they're both different properties. The one in Elkhart, it's 11,000 square foot home. The husband and wife are both engineers. They built probably 5 or 6 homes in their lifetime. It's on a 4.5 acre spread with a pond that's clean, swimmable, fishable. The pool, everything, basketball court. It's a real estate living right in, a metropolitan area. Then the US 12 property is actually another large home, I think 10,000 square feet with a large indoor swimming pool area, gymnasium. And that's a 35 acre horse farm with an indoor arena, huge indoor arena, pole barn, and a guest house on 35 acres. So
magnificent.
We haven't sold them yet, but hopefully we will soon. They're certainly priced competitively for what they are. They're both very unique properties in this area.
Yeah, they look magnificent. And when you
both are.
Yes. Yeah, and when you compare with the square footage, the acreage, the lifestyle that you can achieve with either one of these, and then you've got the Elkhart at 2.995, and then you've got the the US 12, as you called it, with the 35-acre property and the horse barn and the indoor arena at 2.495. I mean, that's amazing.
We just lowered the horse farm down to 2.2 million.
Wow.
Which, for what it has to offer, the home alone is worth that much, not counting I forgot to mention that it also has a 12 horse stable with birthing area. So there's an area where the horses can give birth in there as well.
That's fantastic.
And it's amazing. He's a dentist, and he takes care of his own property by himself, all 35 acres and the horses. So I think he's just, it's a lot of work for him, and they want to move south permanently into a warmer climate.
Right, understandable at times. Yet, that's again, both of these. I'm looking at them right now in your ad. They're beautiful, and we've done a lot of work with some polo players and whatnot. So that horse barn and the indoor riding arena, birthing stable, 12-horse stable, and a guest house, magnificent.
And it's a great location. It's in a town called Edwardsburg that has a blue ribbon school district. It's close to a whole bunch of lakes if you want to take a boat and go fishing. And then it's not more than 5 miles or so to the Indiana state line. So if you were a Notre Dame fan, it'd be a great location. And then all the shopping in Indiana that's there would make it very convenient for someone. It's a very, very nice location. It's private, but yet at the same time close to everything.
And so vibrant, and especially in the the spring, especially the summer, etc. Just vibrant, green, lush, clean.
Right. Mm-hmm.
As compared to many other locations, especially when, I'm sure as you've seen, you just touched upon the owners of the Edwardsburg, the 35-acre property, wanting to move into warmer climates. I'm not sure if you saw there were so many from New York and a number of places that once COVID hit, they descended upon Florida, and for obvious reasons, and now they're migrating back in massive numbers to where they came from, because it's not for everyone. Once you get
right, yes.
I've done it and I love it, but it's not for everyone. It's somewhat of an acquired taste. And so, with respect to this, we can basically, I guess we have a quarter left, but for the sake of conversation, because this year's moving so amazingly quickly, as you set your sights on 2023, Dennis, do you anticipate that the market is going to remain as it is with respect to the limited inventory and somewhat status quo, or what do you see on the horizon, being being a leading seasoned luxury realtor in that market and knowing it so well?
Well, I think inventories are going to remain tight. There's still plenty of buyers out there, capable buyers. So the concern I have are sellers not wanting to sell, but then not sure where they're going to go in the cost, if they give up their older mortgage. So
right,
it's going to be a little more aggressive to get some listings, but I still think there will be a lot of movement in the market. I think it's still a seller's market. I think it'll stay that way. We'll see a little bit of resistance. And then secondary homes, lake homes, I think will stay popular. There's people that I think that have taken money out of the stock market and probably want to put it in real estate.
Yep.
And lake property is, like they said, God doesn't make it anymore. So, so it's a good investment, and then also it's a great elevation of your lifestyle to live on water. So
I have not heard that one. That's a good one. God doesn't make it anymore. Truly limited. Dennis, it has been a pleasure speaking with you. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that I should have, or anything that you'd like to touch upon that we haven't during this first conversation, which I'm so grateful to have had? And Also, since you mentioned it, congratulations on 2020 being the most successful year you've had to date in your career. Congratulations.
Yeah, 22 has been a very good year. 21 was also good. 20 was just exceptional because we ended up selling a lot of, $1 million plus homes. And we actually sold more property in 21 than 20, but they were more expensive in 20, right after COVID with all the high-end lake homes. 22 has kind of been a blend where we're selling some fairly high-priced homes, in the suburbs in Indiana, and a wide variety of lake property. Some of it is vacant land on a lake. Some of it is just fishing cottages, only livable in the warm months, and then some of them are year-round deluxe homes, and it's just a big variety, and it's going to be interesting. I'm optimistic. It's just going to take a little more work, a little more creative marketing, and to get listings and also to get them sold.
Yeah, well said. Well said, my friend. Dennis Bamber, Cressy and Everett Real Estate in Southwest Michigan, bringing you the most dynamic and comprehensive marketing approach to buying and selling real estate in Southwest Michigan. And to reiterate it, it's Dennis, DENNIS BAMBER CRESSYEVERETT.com, DennisBamber.CressyEverett.com. Dennis, thank you again so much for your time. It's been a pleasure to speak with you and to speak with a kindred former fisherman such as yourself. I really appreciate your time. We love having you in the magazines, and I hope we're able to do this again soon.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time, too.
Have a fantastic weekend.
All right, you too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.